Welcome to my latest YouTube video. My name is Rosenberg. I'm the author of The Human Magnet Syndrome and the creator of the Codependency Cure. Today I'm going to talk about a subject that might sound humorous, might sound like I'm poking fun at myself, or to some, making myself look bad, but it is a stark reminder of the consequences that are unavoidable if one involves themselves in what I call self-love recovery treatment, or my codependency cure. I warn people before they start treatment with me. I give them what is called my Surgeon General warning. The Surgeon General warning: ceasing one's codependency or self-love deficit disorder will result in abnormally high rates of conflict, disapproval, and heartbreak. Other risks include rejection and abandonment, as well as a loss of so-called loving, supportive, and loyal friends and loved ones. Anticipate at least 6 months of debilitating core shame, self-doubt, and pathological loneliness. I'm neither a surgeon or a general, but like on an American pack of cigarettes, it warns you that if you do something, there are going to be consequences. And I've come to understand that a marriage cannot survive, or for that matter, any committed long-term relationship that an SLD has with a pathological narcissist. Narcissists always are attracted to SLDs for codependents, and codependents always, predictably, are attracted to pathological narcissists. And if an SLD comes to therapy with me, or anyone using my self-love recovery treatment methods, the Codependency Cure, they will undoubtedly, predictably, move beyond their marriage, divorce, or separate, or terminate the relationship with their pathological narcissist. It's inevitable. 90% of my clients who complete the program, they divorce and terminate their relationship with narcissists. If we understand family systems theory, it explains that all relationships are connected to each other within a system of interlocking roles. According to the theory, all relationships need balance or equilibrium. In other words, no one wants to feel uncomfortable in a relationship, and people will feel uncomfortable, predictably, if there is change. There will be discomfort no matter if the change is for the good or the change is for the bad. And let me illustrate it simply. If you are an alcoholic, like in the 40s and 50s and 60s, and a little bit up into the mid to late 70s, people went to treatment for alcoholism. They did not include the spouse, the family, the partners. So the alcoholic who lives in a dysfunctional family, because of his or her alcoholism and everyone's role around it, she goes into treatment. She gets the therapy, and everything makes her feel better, understand more of the disease, understand her distorted and broken thinking, perhaps resolve some of her emotional issues. She goes home and no one has changed. Now, of course, no one in that family wants her to drink. They all hate the drinking. They despise it. But they don't know what to do with her when she goes home, because the family has no experience in good, positive mental health. Therefore, in this family where a person got healthier and the family did not, the family feels uncomfortable. The equilibrium is challenged. Everyone gets kind of nervous and jumpy, and they set up the recovering alcoholic loved one to fail. And no one does it on purpose, and if you explain it to them, they will deny it, and they will blame it on the alcoholic. Now let's look at a healthy family and understand why change is so challenging to the equilibrium of any relationship. A healthy family with a father, because of genetic predispositions, becomes an alcoholic, and it happens rather quickly. And we could say, for that matter, any other drug addiction. Everyone is upset. Everyone is not happy, because this family, up until a couple years before he started using alcohol, they got along really well and they communicated well. And when, say, their father became an alcoholic, it threw the family system way off. He goes into treatment. He comes back abstinent and working his alcoholism program. The family's equilibrium starts to lower and get back to its normal, healthy mode. If he came back and he did not complete treatment, there would be no return to equilibrium. So the point of family systems theory, basically, is that all systems resist change because of all the members of this system, family members, husband and wife, children, all have become accustomed to a certain set of rules, a certain set of roles. And in the codependent family, the narcissist and the codependent, they are on opposite side of my continuum. In my relationship compatibility theory, I use the continuum to demonstrate family systems theory, and I do it rather simply. I use 10 numbers, -5 all the way to +5 on a continuum, and a 0 in the middle. The -5 is the codependent, or SLD, on one side of the continuum, and the +5 is a pathological narcissist who has one of 3 personality disorders or is a severe addict. In order for the two to come together in a human magnet syndrome compelled relationship, there has to be the balance of roles. And so the -5 and the +5 being exact opposites, they equal 0. And the zero-sum balance explains relationship stability, not relationship health. It explains why the codependent and the narcissist is stable. If someone is a +2 healthy and they're attracted to the -2 healthy, it also explains the attraction and the stability. It explains why, if they should leave or break up or terminate one of them, there will be incredible tension. And the narcissist will do anything they can, or the codependent for that matter, in order to bring back the other person, no matter how unhealthy, but in order to get back to that equilibrium. The narcissist and the codependent are going to be pulled together and are going to remain together because in this system, everyone is comfortable. Everyone is familiar. Now, comfortable means that outside of the relationship, they wouldn't know what to do and would feel lonely and have to deal with their addictions. So I, as a psychotherapist, when I work with my clients, almost always understand the dynamic. That if someone is going to start our therapy, I feel compelled to tell them your relationships are going to fall apart. And you've heard me say this before, up to 85%, but usually between 75 and 85% of all the people you thought loved you and the people you love, they're going to disappear from your life. And they're going to disappear with extreme dysfunction and drama, or they're just going to slip away. It never surprises me when eventually my SLD decides to leave the narcissist. And because of family systems theory, and because of my 10-stage program, has one stage that is solely focused on prediction and preparation. It doesn't surprise them. They already know through all of the warnings and all the information they've learned that the proverbial stuff's going to hit the fan if they get healthier. Very few people are going to like it, healthy or dysfunctional. There's going to be tons of pressure to return back to their normal, sick SLDD or codependency selves. They will even fight the internal pressure because of their SLDD addiction. And I have plenty of videos on that. The compulsion to return back to something you know bad because of withdrawal symptoms. But if someone stays strong and stays focused and agrees with the general rule, and listen carefully, the general rule, the general boundary, that spells out what is acceptable for all relationships, and that is the fair or equal distribution of love, respect, and caring, or I call LRC. And for the SLD who says this, and because they have been warned, that statement falls on deaf ears, and as predicted, 75 to 85% of all their loved ones go away or they end a relationship. That's a lot. And I am not overestimating. I have been doing this work for a very long time, and I just don't make up these numbers. So it's very clear, and you must know this. If you are going to start the self-love recovery treatment, whether it's with me or someone that knows my methods, you must be prepared for the loss, an avalanche that will end up decimating your relationships. But that's the bad news. Let me tell you the good news. And I laugh because I know the good news so far outweighs the bad news. The good news is, in this treatment program, you start to develop self-love, self-respect, and self-care. And you solved your SLDD addiction or codependency addiction, so you're not jonesing for your narcissist, going through deep states of bone-achingly painful pathological loneliness. And you start to protect the space you live in, your physical boundaries, your personal boundaries, your emotional boundaries, and in some cases, your intimate boundaries. You protect them, not because your therapist explained why you should, or you don't want to upset or disappoint your therapist. It's because you've experienced, you know how good it feels to live in a world where no one is hurting you, disrespecting you, not caring for you, beating you down, controlling you. And yes, you have to adjust to the losses, but you adjust to them from a position of happiness, relief. You are so convinced that being alone no longer hurts when you love yourself. The SLDD addiction withdrawal symptom, the pathological loneliness, is cured. And if you come work with me, or you work with a therapist that utilizes my methods, there is a high probability, a 95% probability, that the relationship you have with your pathological narcissist will end. And that's the good news. So with that, I invite you guys to look at my Self-Love Recovery Institute website, selff-recovery.com, and look at the 15 or more full-length seminar educational videos that are up to 6 hours long. Please subscribe. Press that button down there, and you'll be alerted to all of my new videos or my YouTube lives or my premieres. Be well, and thank you for taking the time to watch this. Your support means a lot to me.